पैसा निकाल, जल्दी निकाल। कहाँ है?
नहीं
हल,
नहीं
हल।
क्या बना रहा है मेरे को? मेरे को क्या बना रहा है? पैसा किधर गया साले? हवा में उड़ गया क्या? मेरे को बना रहे साले? जा जाके पैसा लेके आ, नहीं तो खाना तो भूल ही जाना, इधर रहने को भी मत जाना।
मैं तो खुद भूखा हूँ हवा की उस लहर का जो मुझे आज़ाद होने का एहसास दिलाती है।
Hey, welcome back to online classes. Dear student, have a very pleasant morning. So since what you have seen in the video is quite tragic, right? How being as a developing nation we are combating with the poverty. You have seen that how the childrens are becoming rag picker, and why they are becoming rag picker is the question mark. You will learn through this chapter the reason behind that, and moreover you will develop your sense of understanding to help with combating the poverty. So we are going to start this chapter. The chapter name is Children at Work, chapter number 2 of English supplementary book, standard 8th, and I, Ajay Kumar, your English teacher, is going to explain it to you. So before we read, we'll discuss about the reasons why children have to work. And there are many reasons, right? Some help their family make a livelihood. Others who run away from unhappy homes need to support themselves. Children who have to work can't go to school and play like other children of their age. These are the reasons why children are going on work. So the chapter which we are going to read is written by 3 of the renowned writers. Let us have a brief about them. The first writer, Gita Wolf, says best known as the author of a dozen of books for children and adults, and she's being considered one of the most original and creative voices in contemporary Indian publishing. She has pursued her interest in exploring and experimenting with the form of book and its status as a revered culture object. The second writer, which is very much famous, you might have heard the name of Pandit Ravi Shankar. She is the daughter of Pandit Ravi Shankar, and her name is Anushka Ravi Shankar. She is a very renowned writer and a socialist and a nationalist. She was born in Nashik and graduated in mathematics from Ferguson College, Pune in 1981. And while at college, she was influenced by the work of Lewis Carroll, Edward Lear, and Edward Gorey. After completing her post graduation in operation research, Anushka Ravi Shankar worked with an IT firm in Nashik for a while. And the another one is Arijit Sen, one of the like a very renowned graphic artist and designer. His graphic novel River of Stories was published in 1994 by Kalpvriksh, and it was considered as the first graphic novel of India. And he is born on 1963. So this story is based on character Velu, and another character you will come to know about, Jaya. Okay, so let us start the reading. Now Velu, an 11-year-old boy, run away from home. He wanders around for hours before getting on a train to Chennai without a ticket. Tired and hungry, he does not know where to go when a strange at the station shouts a word of welcome. Now let us start the reading. When the Kanyakumari Express pulled in at Chennai Central, it took Velu some time to get off. When he finally stood on the platform, his legs felt wobbly, as if he was still on a moving train. Out of the way. A porter went by with a loaded trolley. Velu jumped aside. He sat on a bench on the platform, putting his small bundle down. In all his 11 years, he had never seen so many people, except once a year at the fair in his village. People walked by, bumping into him with their suitcases. A voice announced something on a loudspeaker. Near him, in a group of people sat on their luggage, looking at TV hanging from the roof. The noise was terrible. So in this two para, the author of this story describes the story of a boy who was 11-year-old, and his name was Velu, who was runs away from his home because of his father. Because his father was of different nature and he was uneducated, and that's why he tries to steal money from the boy Velu, and tortured most of the time to him, and not letting him go to the school and all that. So that's why he decided to run away from his village, from his parents. So when he decided to do so, he went to the railway station, and at that railway station he saw that Kanyakumari Express was standing there and about to leave that station, and he boarded into that. When he reached to Kanyakumari, actually this boy Velu was from Kannur village. All right, he was from Kannur village. You'll come to know later in the story. So he took the train from Kannur and reached to the Kanyakumari. Kanyakumari is one of the very populated city in Kerala, I think. So from there he went to the Kanyakumari, and then when he reached to the station, when he came out of that train, still he was like in dilemma of like what was happening. Everything what was happening to him was new. It was a new experience for him. When he went out, like many things happened to him. Like he was not believing that that he went to so crowded city, and the crowd which was coming across him was quite like strange for him. As you can see that after coming out from the train, he was sitting on the platform bench, and there he was keeping his small bundle, like a small bag you can say, in which he has kept the shirt and pant and comb. These were the things he has kept in his small bundle. When he saw the crowded station, he recognized this crowded station as the fair. When he used to see this much people or this much crowd at once, he never experienced this type of crowd ever in his life. Now he is experiencing it when he reached to Kanyakumari. While doing so, many people were crossing there, and as we can see that when we are reaching to the platform railway station, the TV is hanging over there, and many people are watching the TVs. In the same way, people were watching the TV, but he was not interested in all those things. He was just sitting quiet and folding his knee and putting his head in between those knees, and deep down their head, like that. And some announcement was also going on the loudspeaker. All of a sudden what he heard was a sound. Now what type of sound he heard? Velu put his head down on his knees, feeling miserable and exhausted. He had run away from his village 2 days ago. For 2 days he had eaten nothing but some peanuts and a piece of jaggery. In his bundle he carried a shirt and a towel and a comb. He had walked for most of the first day to Kannur and then got on the train to Chennai. Velu had no money for a ticket, but luckily the ticket collector did not come to unreserved compartment. He had tried to sleep on the floor near the door. A group of men next to him had played cards and shouted all night. "Hey, what? New to town, eh?" called out a voice. Velu opened his eyes. There were a lot of people standing around, but nobody was looking at him. "Here, hey!" He turned around. Behind him, a girl around his own age, wearing a long banyan that came down to her knees. Her hair was stiff and brownish, and she had a huge sack on one shoulder. She was picking up dirty plastic cups from the floor and stuffing them into her sack. While she is calling me, why she is calling me, thought Velu. And why is a girl wearing a banyan? So after reaching to the station, when he was sitting there on the station bench, he was recalling all the memories of his journey, that how much he was exhausted and why he was exhausted just because of the journey from Kannur. He just ran away from his village, and when he tried to board into the train, it was all whole day exhausted into that journey. And since he was so exhausted, he was so tired and he wanted to rest, but the things which was going on in his mind was not letting him sleep. So he recalled it all the things, that how he boarded in the train, and since he was not having any single penny or money in his pocket, so he could not buy the ticket. and he was so lucky that he didn't found any ticket collector, as we are also experiencing that most of the ticket collectors are not going in unreserved compartment, that what we call is a local compartment, a general compartment. So that is not reserved, and that's why most of the ticket collector does not go to check the tickets of the passengers. So this was it coming in his mind. Now when he was sitting there on the platform, he heard a sound, and this sound was of a girl. He tried to look around, that who is calling him, and when he looked around, he saw many people were talking to them, but nobody was looking at him. So when he thought nobody is looking at him, again the same sound came, like just pointing out to him that somebody is calling him. And who was that? She was a girl. She was a girl of of her, his age only, and she was carrying a bag, you can say. In that bag she was carrying the cups which was thrown, or which was like garbage type of cups she was carrying into her bag. So when Velu saw that girl, she was asking his name. Velu was so confused to tell her his name, but Velu muttered his name and told his name to her. Then after, the girl responded to him that, Mr. Velu, you seems to be run away from your home because you are carrying a bundle. But Velu did not answer. He did not want to disclose the story that he had been beaten by his father, taken money every day to drink, right? This type of things he did not want to share with that girl. Then after, the girl responded again that don't think that I don't know, because she was so much familiar of this type of pain she had have earlier. And she told that this place was full of children like Velu, because most of the children were coming or going there to earn bread and butter and to become rich, to earn some money. Then after, she sat down next to him. While that, Velu shifted away slightly, and when he shifted away slightly, he was trying to control his hunger, and he was pinching, he was trying to press his stomach to control the hunger. But while doing so, his face was grimace. Now grimace is a pain, twisted expression on the face due to pain. When he was doing so, that girl felt that Velu was so hungry, and that's why the girl asked that, you won't get food by sitting here gloomily making faces. I can find some if you want. Like, she suggested that if he want to eat food, he has to follow that girl. Then after, the girl stood up and picked up her sack and started walking away from there. And Velu, till for some time, he stayed on the bench, but he started thinking that what he should do. He should follow this girl or not. But in the end, he thought to follow that girl, and he walked fastly to follow that girl, because the crowd was so huge, and he has never seen this crowd earlier in his life. And he thought, if he will not follow her, she'll be disappear. So dear students, this was it for today story. Now we'll meet tomorrow with next part of this story. So stay tuned. Till then, bye, take care, and have a nice day. Thank you.